بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful.
اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر.
The hour of judgment is nigh, and the moon is cleft asunder.
وإن يروا آية يعرضوا ويقولوا سحر مستمر.
But if they see a sign, they turn away and say, "This is but transient magic."
وكذبوا واتبعوا أهواءهم وكل أمر مستقر.
They reject the warning and follow their own lusts, but every matter has its appointed time.
وَلَقَدْ جَاءَهُم مِّنَ الْأَنبَاءِ مَا فِيهِ مُزْدَجَرٌ.
There have already come to them recitals wherein there is enough to check them.
حِكْمَةٌ بَالِغَةٌ فَمَا تُغْنِ النُّذُرُ.
Mature wisdom, but the preaching of warners profits them not.
فَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ يَوْمَ يَدْعُ الدَّاعِ إِلَى شَيْءٍ نُكُرٍ.
Therefore, O Prophet, turn away from them, the day that the caller will call them to a terrible affair.
خُشَّ عَنْ أَبْصَارُهُمْ يَخْرُجُونَ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ كَأَنَّهُمْ جَرَادٌ مُنْتَشِرٌ.
They will come forth, their eyes humbled from their graves, torpid like locusts scattered abroad.
مُهْطِعِينَ إِلَى الدَّاعِ يَقُولُ الْكَافِرُونَ هَذَا يَوْمٌ عَسِرٌ.
Hastening with eyes transfixed towards the caller. Hard is this day, the unbelievers will say.
كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح فكذبوا عبدنا وقالوا مجنون وازدجر.
Before them the people of Noah rejected their messenger. They rejected our servant and said, "Here is one possessed," and he was driven out.
فدعا ربه أني مغلوب فانتصر.
Then he called on his Lord, "I am one overcome. Do you then help me?"
ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر.
So we opened the gates of heaven with water pouring forth.
وفجرنا الأرض عيونا فالتقى الماء على أمر قد قدر.
And we caused the earth to gush forth with springs, so the waters met and rose to the extent decreed.
وحملناه على ذات ألواح ودسر.
But we bore him on an ark made of broad planks and caulked with palm fiber.
تجري بأعيننا جزاء لمن كان كفر.
She floats under our eyes and care, a recompense to one who had been rejected with scorn.
وَلَقَدْ تَرَكْنَاهَا آيَةً فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ.
And we have left this as a sign for all time. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
فَكَيْفَ كَانَ عَذَابِي وَنُذُرِ.
But how terrible was my penalty and my warning.
وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ.
And we have indeed made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
كذبت عاد فكيف كان عذابي ونذر.
The Ad people too rejected truth. Then how terrible was my penalty and my warning.
إنا أرسلنا عليهم ريحا صرصرا في يوم نحس مستمر.
For we sent against them a furious wind on a day of violent disaster.
تنزع الناس كأنهم أعجاز نخل منقعر.
Plucking out men as if they were roots of palm trees torn up from the ground.
فكيف كان عذابي ونذر.
Yea, how terrible was my penalty and my warning.
ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
But we have indeed made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
كذبت ثمود بالنذر.
The Thamud also rejected their warners.
فقالوا أبشرا منا واحدا نتبعه إنا إذا لفي ضلال وسعر.
For they said, What? A man, a solitary one from among ourselves? Shall we follow such a one? Truly, should we then be straying in mind and mad?
أألقي الذكر عليه من بيننا بل هو كذاب أشر.
Is it that the message is sent to him of all people amongst us? Nay, he is a liar, an insolent one.
سيعلمون غدا من الكذاب الأشر.
They will know on the morrow which is the liar, the insolent one.
إنا مرسل الناقة فتنة لهم فارتقبهم واصطبر.
For we will send the she-camel by way of trial for them. So watch them, O Salih, and possess yourself in patience.
ونبئهم أن الماء قسمة بينهم كل شرب محتضر.
And tell them that the water is to be divided between them, each one's right to drink being brought forward by suitable turns.
فنادوا صاحبهم فتعاطى فعقر.
But they called to their companion, and he took a sword in hand and hamstrung her.
فكيف كان عذابي ونذر.
How terrible was my penalty and my warning.
إنا أرسلنا عليهم صيحة واحدة فكانوا كهشيم المحتضر.
For we sent against them a single mighty blast, and they became like the dry stubble used by one who pens cattle.
وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ.
And we have indeed made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
كَذَّبَتْ قَوْمُ لُوطٍ بِالنُّذُرِ.
The people of Lut rejected his warning.
إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ حَاصِبًا إِلَّا آلَ لُوطٍ نَجَّيْنَاهُمْ بِسَحَرٍ.
We sent against them a violent tornado with showers of stones which destroyed them, except Lut's household. Them we delivered by early dawn.
نِعْمَةً مِّنْ عِندِنَا كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي مَنْ شَكَرَ.
As a grace from us. Thus do we reward those who give thanks.
وَلَقَدْ أَنذَرَهُمْ بَطْشَتَنَا فَتَمَارَوْا بِالنُّذُرِ.
And Lut did warn them of our punishment, but they disputed about the warning.
وَلَقَدْ رَاوَدُوهُ عَنْ ضَيْفِهِ فَطَمَسْنَا أَعْيُنَهُمْ فَذُوقُوا عَذَابِي وَنُذُرِ.
And they even sought to snatch away his guests from him, but we blinded their eyes. They heard, now taste you my wrath and my warning.
وَلَقَدْ صَبَّحَهُمْ بُكْرَةً عَذَابٌ مُسْتَقِرٌ.
Early on the morrow, an abiding punishment seized them.
فذوقوا عذابي ونذر.
So taste you my wrath and my warning.
ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
And we have indeed made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
وَلَقَدْ جَاءَ آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ النُّذُرُ.
To the people of Pharaoh too aforetime came warners from Allah.
كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا كُلِّهَا فَأَخَذْنَاهُمْ أَخْذَ عَزِيزٍ مُقْتَدِرٍ.
The people rejected all our signs, but we seized them with such penalty as comes from one exalted in power, able to carry out his will.
أَكُفَّارُكُمْ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أُولَئِكُمْ أَمْ لَكُمْ بَرَاءَةٌ فِي الزُّبُرِ.
Are you unbelievers, O Quraysh, better than they? Or have you an immunity in the sacred books?
أَمْ يَقُولُونَ نَحْنُ جَمِيعٌ مُنْتَصِرٌ.
Or do they say, we, acting together, can defend ourselves?
سَيُهْزَمُ الْجَمْعُ وَيُوَلُّونَ الدُّبُرَ.
Soon will their multitude be put to flight, and they will show their backs.
بَلِ السَّاعَةُ مَوْعِدُهُمْ وَالسَّاعَةُ أَدْهَى وَأَمَرُّ.
Nay, the hour of judgment is the time promised them for their full recompense, and that hour will be most grievous and most bitter.
إِنَّ الْمُجْرِمِينَ فِي ضَلَالٍ وَسُعُرٍ.
Truly, those in sin are the ones straying in mind and mad.
يَوْمَ يُسْحَبُونَ فِي النَّارِ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ ذُوقُوا مَسَّ سَقَرَ.
The day they will be dragged through the fire on their faces, they will hear, taste you the touch of hell.
إِنَّا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ.
Verily, all things have we created in proportion and measure.
وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا وَاحِدَةٌ كَلَمْحٍ بِالْبَصَرِ.
And our command is but a single act, like the twinkling of an eye.
وَلَقَدْ أَهْلَكْنَا أَشْيَاعَكُمْ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ.
And oft in the past have we destroyed gangs like unto you. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ فَعَلُوهُ فِي الزُّبُرِ.
All that they do is noted in their books of deeds.
وَكُلُّ صَغِيرٍ وَكَبِيرٍ مُسْتَطَرٍ.
Every matter, small and great, is a record.
إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَنَهَرٍ.
As to the righteous, they will be in the midst of gardens and rivers.
فِي مَقْعَدِ صِدْقٍ عِندَ مَلِيكٍ مُقْتَدِرٍ.
In an assembly to truth, in the presence of a sovereign omnipotent.